Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, so let's talk about episode 17 of Wish from Mercury. So this overall episode, I think is a very well executed if you if you ask me. I think the overall intention of what the overall characters, what their interests, the overall purpose was very clear, so they have a very good path as far as how they are trying to accomplish it. But obviously, when you want to make things work, they don't usually turn out the way you want. There are going to be some sacrifices. There are going to be people getting hurt, and they will just have to find it the hard way and just have to accept it. Just for a better change. And I think that's probably the best way to kind of summarize. I think for just kind of how I see it. In terms of how the episode kind of begins, we are starting things up where we kind of left off of last episode, where we have Mione still kind of having that confrontation with Prospera. So she does agree to take on the 5-0 plan. She does agree to run for presidency in terms of the group, but her wish was that she does not want Suletta in her plans anymore. She does not want her to be within this overall atmosphere because it's not really healthy for her, since she has pretty much no idea what is going on. She just kind of blindly agrees with what her mother says and does it. But in terms of what Prospera says, she does want Soletta and Arios to have one final duel. So that was quite interesting. Why she needs that? Like, does she needs more in data, or I don't know why she kind of brought that up. But so that's kind of where we kind of left things off with. After that, we do cut back into the school scenes where we have Soletta and Mione kind of having like a chat. Soletta was pretty much waiting for her, since morning. I don't know how long she was waiting for in front of her room, but she's no longer grounded. Her 7 days ban has been lifted since the open campus, so she's pretty much free to roam around. And then Mione just kind of asked Soletta, like, will she ever get rid of Arios? But obviously, Mione's simple reply was, I cannot, because she is family. So we do have a problem. How do we separate Soletta from Arios? So that is gonna be something that we will find out towards the end in a way. And Mione's birthday is coming up, so whenever we hear birthday in Wish from Mercury, that usually does not equal to anything good, which towards the end we will know what's going on. But in terms of Mione, she was just kind of like, yeah, I would kind of think about if I want to do anything, so she would kind of get back to her towards the end. And now we cut back to Shadiq. Now he is trying to see if he can secure himself a partnership with the Pale Technology Group, because he does kind of want to form like an allowance in a way. He does want to boost his popularity, so when it comes to votings, he wants to have a fair shot into winning. So that's what he's doing. In terms of the scene, we do see that he is cleverly trying to offer up the gun arm group, because we do know that the Pale Technology Group has been a real hunger to get their hands into Gundam Arios. If they are able to get access to the gun arm company, that is definitely a very big W for them. So at this point in time, we don't really know if they are going to be coming into like a full agreement to this overall partnership type deal. I think within the next few episodes, even maybe the next episode, we should see some more progression from that. But at this point in time, it's kind of confirmed. Even the group themselves know that President series isn't gonna be coming back, because it's either they know Shadiq took him, or maybe they assume that he's dead or something. So they do know that much at this point in time. And now we are back at school. Yes, but not just at school. We are back at Mione's greenhouse garden, if you want to call it that. In terms of this overall segment of the scene, we do have a lot of commotion going on. Not necessarily in a bad way, but we do have a lot of development in this situation. The first part, we do have Ellen kind of begging for Suletta if he can get Arios, because this is the clone, and then he knows that if he does not fulfill the Pale Technologies requires and whatnot, he will probably end up getting eliminated, just like how the other Ellen clones is. So he was really on the brink of, he needs it pretty much. And obviously that didn't happen, because Grill shows up, and then things got better. So we would just kind of leave it as that. And in terms of Grill and Suletta, before talking about that, we do have Mione is pretty much listening into the whole conversation. She is pretty much on the side of her greenhouse, just listening in. So going back to Grill and Suletta, so they do have a very deep conversation in terms of just kind of things in general. So Grill is back on campus pretty much because he is allowed to re-enroll to school, because he was never completely quit, Asakasa, because his brother Lauda pretty much held up his withdrawal form. So that's cool. It's cool to see that. In terms of now, Grill does have a good purpose. He is trying to rebuild the Jiturk company, because that is like a tie to his father. So that right there pretty much resonate a lot to um, him and President Delling, because Mione right now is taking care of the Quiet Zero. That is a tie to his father. So we do kind of have like a little bit of a resemblance right there. And he did say that he does not want to lose any more of the purchase thing. So Suletta is actually part of quote unquote his purchase thing, because he just kind of tell Suletta that he likes her, which I think we kind of find that out already, kind of hinted at us before, but not to this point, where we kind of have like a little bit of a slice of like moment where we saw Suletta like kind of like giving that awkward like oh my gosh OMG moment. So that was kind of cool. I do kind of like the fact that they gave us that quick moment where they can kind of be themselves, being all embarrassed and stuff. So we have that. So Go just kind of explained the fact that he truly learns how frightening it is to move forward in game 2, because of his overall experience with him killing his father, him just having a different perspective when he went on Earth, just taking in that whole experience. So for me to see that he is able to move forward and being strong and trying to build the company, shows that he has a really strong character development. And then after that, we do have Mione cutting into kind of telling Suletta what she went for her birthday. She does want Suletta to have a duel with Grill once again, because this is kind of part of her plan. Because I don't know, was she kind of foreseeing what Shadiq's doing, but she is planning something of her own to kind of secure herself a win in a way. Because quickly after that, we do have a quick conversation with Mione with Grill, because she just tells him that she is planning to run for president, and she does want Grill and his company, the Jitur company, to just kind of support him. This is pretty much her hinting at him that yes, you do have to win the duel. If you win the duel, then we'll be back at that status of like bribe and groom situation. So at that point, she can leverage the Bannery group to help revive the Turret company. So this is kind of like a win-win situation. And then Grill doesn't really reject this overall idea. He pretty much kind of went along with this in a sense. Now we are getting into the juicy part. Now we are getting into the duel. So both Suletta and Grill are kind of stating what they want to stakes at the overall duel. If Suletta wins, she does want Grill to promise to stop the harassment to the Herb House because of the overall incidents after the open house. In terms of what Grill's want, he wants Ariel's Gundam. So I think this is definitely something Mione told Grill to do, because this is the only way she can forcibly take away Ariel's from Suletta, which I think is a very good thing. I do have to wonder if Grill does win, which he does win towards the end, right? We'll talk about that in a little bit. I do kind of wonder what she would do after that. So we'll just kind of leave it at that for the time being. So now we are pretty much having a little bit more conversation where Mione is telling Grill a little bit more about Suletta and her mom, how that Suletta will willingly listen to whatever her mother says. She would not question her at all. Just kind of telling her that Prospera sends Suletta to school with Ariel just so she can duel and pretty much, more or less like collecting data for her. So Mione just want happiness for Suletta. She want her to be free from Gundam. And then Grill was kind of like, yeah, not in our world. It's pretty much not something we can do or we can achieve in a way. So I just kind of like the fact that Grill is being really, realistic in here. He just having that really mature state of mind that things can't just be all happy all of a sudden. It just doesn't go like that. So he understands the assignment obviously. So that is that. So now we're pretty much entering into the battle. We do see you know Grill in the Turk house. He's getting prepped up. He is talking to his brother. He's kind of apologizing that he was never kind of whipping or whatnot. And then after Grill enters his their body, he began to traumatize because of the overall incident. It just shows that they're just human. They just can't recover quickly, and they just can't forget about things that happened to the past, and it's still haunting him. He can't really grasp like the controllers of their body. Like he's just kind of like shaking up. So we have that. Pretty much everyone's watching them. The student was just kind of having mixed feeling about the duel. The Palace Technology is watching a duel. We have Shadiq, watching a duel. He just kind of questioned like, was this part of Mune's plan as well? Which I do kind of funny how they both kind of know what's going on at the same time. They weren't even really communicating with each other, like kind of meeting each other to the president election or whatever. So that was quite smart for both of them, especially. And obviously, we cannot leave out the three musketeer. We have Nika, we have Noah, and then we have Ellen, kind of forming another, kind of like the left behind group, or the unwanted group, or the outcast, if you will. So we kind of have that inclusion as well. So that was good. So we have our groups. So pretty much this over episode, we do have a lot of group quote unquote forming. Not in a sense that they are really forming, but it just shows that people are grouping up and that. In terms of the overall battle, it's pretty cinematic. Obviously, we do have. In terms of what really happened, is Grill is having a lot of flashback towards the end. During the battle, he wasn't really having it. He was still traumatized throughout. So this is the chance where Suletta is trying to, finish things off. But obviously, things could not happen the way she wants, because Prospera is now communicating. I want to say she's communicating via her headset to tell Ari or to turn off the aerials, because we do have a confirmation button linked to Mione to just to click on it, and it will forcibly shut down aerials, which it did happen. So yes, so Mione forcibly shut down aerials where Grill was able to secure the W. So with his badly damaged their body because of two antennas from the aerial Gundam securing himself a W, which enhance that is the end of line for Suletta. She's right now kind of out of the picture, because we do have Mione kind of hopping on to the topic of Arios, kind of telling her that confessing pretty much that, yeah, I was the one that kind of shuts down Arios, and then tossing her back the keychains that Suletta gave her, like that little blue figure thingy. So that was, man, that was really disheartening. Like the fact that she confessed to her, kind of like at this point in time, I feel like Soletta's heart is completely shattered. Like, why would she do that to me? Like she's kind of tearing up. She's having that really like grinning grimming face, if you will. So I'm just like, I feel bad for her, but I hope that towards the end, like after the overall incident, she will understand the overall plan, why she's doing what she's doing, because she's doing this obviously for a purpose, right? She's not doing it just for fun, just to kind of make fun of her. She obviously cares deeply about her. She wants her to find true happiness and whatnot. So that is pretty much where we leave off the episode. We do have Mione get kind of give me like a last farewell to her, calling her like a Mars or a Mercurian bacon, whatever. So that was like, oof, going going back to her original name, Martian Pumpkin. Oof, that was kind of sad. So yeah, this episode was really, really, really good. I can't wait until next week to see what's going on. I just want to see what happened to Suletta after this. Like, is she gonna have like a full-on mental breakdown? Is she gonna look for her mom? Because like obviously her mom was the like Prospero was the one that kind of tell Ari to turn off Ariel. So that should be quite interesting, and then to see what's going on after that. But other than that, that's pretty much what I do have for you guys in terms of episode 17. So stay tuned for next week. Next week should be another banger for sure. But other than that, that's it for me, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.